All right, I like it when the new guy on the block does a little talking, perhaps out of turn or not. I don't know. Texas isn't known to be quiet. They say what they want to say. Chris Del Conte did an interview.
Texas has never walked into a room in which it didn't think it was the most important person or entity.
No, absolutely. Is it still? Well, we're going to find out.
Yes.
But 2 items in a recent thing. He said it's going to be 2 years, basically. Intimated. It would be 2 years of the 8-game schedule, and then they're going to go to 9, which would be, I think people in the SEC are pretty excited about. Got all these great teams. Let's play each other. And then the other is he wants he believes the ideal plan is moving the A&M game back to Thanksgiving week, including Thanksgiving night. There is another SEC game that night called the Egg Bowl, which is when the crazy really comes out. Texas A&M would be probably a higher rated game, but can you throw your crazy cousins to the curb and move the Egg Bowl? This is if I'm Mississippi State, I ain't moving my game.
There's a lot of people at Mississippi State and maybe Ole Miss as well that would probably like to move the game. I don't think a lot of people like it on Thanksgiving. Now, I think it's great on Thanksgiving, and I grew up on watching it on Thanksgiving. When I was in college, it was on Thanksgiving. So I think it's great. They get the center stage, they get all the attention. And for schools like that, that's big. But there are definitely people, not just fans, but I think people in administration and
I would not give that
don't like it. Yeah, that don't like it on Thanksgiving. But that's a huge stage. And what if we have doubleheader? Didn't we have that before? Didn't we have a Thanksgiving doubleheader, like a 5 kick and then an 8 kick or something?
Now you're going against the Dallas. Now you're going against the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the problem there.
Yeah. They do have an NFL game at night.
Yeah.
But and that is a problem. Mm-hmm. But going against the Cowboys,
yeah, A&M and Texas have played on Thanksgiving itself before. I mean, that has historically happened quite a bit. Yeah. I love the Egg Bowl on Thursday, and it's niche and it's cool and it makes me pay attention. And I think for those schools, it is a great stage. I can understand from a personal enjoyment standpoint, I wouldn't want to go to a football game on Thanksgiving. I'd want to have Thanksgiving at home with my family, and we'll go the next day or whatever. But it is a nice opportunity for them. Who wins that tussle? Usually the bigger dogs win all tussles. But that's an interesting one for Sankey et al. To deal with, and for ESPN to deal with, deciding who would get the Thursday platform. For the 9-game schedule, all right, that should happen. And I think we've all been expecting it, and they've kind of dallied around for years, actually, on that, speaking of things that should have happened and didn't happen. But you got 16 teams. You need to play 9 games. Let's get with the rest of the nation on that front and do what they need to do.
Yeah, I think it was kind of expected that they would do this 8-game kind of new model, 8-game schedule that they came up with for 2 years. It would be like a 2-year rotation, and they would in all likelihood move to 9 in 2026. And that's what Del Conte kind of confirmed that's kind of the plan. SEC is not announcing that. Certainly, I got a quick text from somebody in the SEC office after he saw Del Conte's comments and made sure to tell me that the SEC is still in the process of exploring multiple ways they could schedule games in the future, blah, blah, blah. So they're not all done yet with that. But the SEC going to 9 games takes up another non-conference spot that they would normally have played against maybe the group of 5. It's something that came up to bring everything circling back. It's something that came up in this story. In fact, Clay Helton of Georgia Southern mentioned that is Clay Helton and Terry Bowden both mentioned that to me. There's a fear that the Power 5 will at least limit their amount of games they play against a group of 5, these bye games that cost, $1.5 million for a G5 program with a budget of $40 million, $1.5 million is pretty nice. It's a good chunk of their budget. So that is definitely a fear. And with the SEC eventually going to 9. That again, the SEC plays a lot of non-conference games against the Sun Belt down there in the American and all that. So that's interesting to watch. That's a hit on the budget of some of these G5 programs.
Yeah, more good games for us though.
More good games for us. And
I will not mourn the loss of the Alabama Middle Tennessee game. Let us all have a moment of silence. I
would hope
they could all stop playing the FCS or UMass.
Well, yeah. I would hope the option is not, let's just not play any good non-conference games and
Probably
keep our Sun Belt and FCS games.
Probably be one of those.
Yeah, that's where all of a sudden, I mean, like politically, Florida and Florida State could not drop each other. South Carolina and Clemson could not drop each other. Kentucky and Louisville, Kentucky's kind of made some noise about it.
Isn't there a law? Didn't they come up with a law, or is that just basketball?
No, that was basketball, and they talked about it. They threatened to have a law because Joby Hall wouldn't play, but then everybody kind of got with reality.
I think they should pass a law.
Well, that's fine. They should. I mean, if that's what it would take, then do it.
Yeah, they should play. I don't know. Well, we've seen this problem. Who said Indiana stopped playing Louisville or something?
Yeah,
that in the big, you see it all the time.
Yeah, but that was nowhere near as big a deal.
Dropping. Yeah, people dropping. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'd be pretty excited about 9-team SEC. I certainly understand the budgetary issues for the G5, but my life will carry on if I get to see more Texas, Georgia, Florida, Oklahoma, stuff like that. I'll be okay. I'll comfort myself. The disappointment.
I think most
Terry Bowden
will be with you.
I'll watch with Terry Bowden. We'll talk with him. I'm all for the 9, and I don't think Ole Miss and Mississippi State should give up. They were rude the day they give up that Thanksgiving night. Take it. Yeah. Don't give it up to these Texas guys. If it's valuable, Texas wants it.
Texas versus Mississippi. I can tell you who's winning that one, Dan.
Yeah.
I mean, don't you have it? I mean, these guys are all the new guys. They really get to just doesn't matter. Money.
Again, that never enters into the mindset for Texas.
Not for Texas. What about the rest of the league?
It should. It absolutely should. You should say, Texas, welcome. Now earn your spot.
And look at Ole Miss is a top 10 program going into next year.
Yeah.
And Mississippi State has been consistently good, if not occasionally very good, for a long stretch now. Obviously not last year, but it's not the days of when they were both just horrible and always on probation.
Right.
Who's won more games in the last decade? Sure. Texas A&M or Mississippi State? I think, or certainly Ole Miss has won more, right? I don't know. They don't have to take a backseat to anybody.
Yeah.
Stand up, Mississippi. Stand up.
The SIP.